I often struggle with my compositions if I don't have a main focal point or point of interest. And so I've come to Portland Bill to photograph the lighthouse, so I have a very obvious point of interest, and I'm going to build up a composition around that. Recently, Gary Goff gave me a shout out in one of his videos, and a lot of you might have actually joined my channel from there, so thanks for coming. But in that video where he mentions me, he's out photographing a lighthouse, and this is my little homage to that video. We'll see if I get anything decent. So I've set up a bit of a composition here with the lighthouse in the top right third, and I've got rocks as a leading line and a bit of the ocean on the left. There's some clouds in the sky and it looks a bit interesting. I'll take this shot and see how it looks. I'm at f11 and focused on the lighthouse, which is more or less infinity, a bit less than. I'm overexposed by a stop, but it's still dark in the foreground, so I think I'm going to need to put a graduated filter on the front, see if I can balance it a little bit. It's a really bright sky and it's still a little ways off before the sun goes down, so I'm going to go for the biggest grad I've got, which is 0.9. And so I'm holding the sky back a bit, and I'm going to overexpose by stop and 2/3. It looks nice on the back of the camera, but because I'm shooting into the sun, it's blowing out the highlights in the top right. And I think because of the challenging lighting conditions here, I might actually look for another composition and possibly get the sun either to the side or behind me. So I've now moved around the complete other side of the lighthouse. I've got the sun hitting it from the side, or it's right behind me as you look at me. I've got a leading line of the path and some rocks on the side with the lighthouse slap bang in the middle. So I'm breaking all other rules of composition here. The lighthouse isn't on a third. I've got the horizon right in the center of the image, but it kind of works. It's not bad. It would possibly be better if we were a bit closer to sunset now, but also I feel like there's something missing in the foreground, and I like the drama of the rocks down by the water, so I think I'm going to move a little bit further around the head and see if I can find a composition from there. I have to admit, as I've come round this side of the lighthouse, I'm not finding anything that meets all of my requirements. Maybe I'm being too picky. Ideally, what I want to be able to see is the ocean, the lighthouse, and some rocks. But from that angle, I just couldn't get anything. So I'm considering going back to the other side of the lighthouse, close to where I took my first shot. And hopefully it could work out as the sun gets lower in the sky and less harsh. But before I do, I'm heading down to Pulpit Rock, because I know there's a shot down there that I can get. It's a bit of a classic one. Pulpit Rock is actually a phony. It's a man-made stack apparently. Okay, that's Pulpit Rock. That's my composition. F11, focused on the rock. Time to go and find my lighthouse shot. No more rushing around now. I've got my shot. I'm just going to keep snapping away until the light gets nice. Essentially what I've gone for is a combination of rocks leading around up to the lighthouse as the sky changes colour, and it's just stunning. Well, the light is almost gone here at Portland Bill, and after rushing about whilst the sun was still up trying to find my composition, I was really happy that I've settled here. And with regards to composition, when you do have a very specific focal point, it removes a lot of the complexity out of composing your image. Sometimes when I've been in a woodland, I've been hunting for a composition, and it's just difficult because you don't know which tree to make your primary focal point, or whether it should be a group of trees or what. But when you have a lighthouse, it's pretty obvious what your focal point is, and then you get to concentrate on building up all the other elements around it. Using these rocks as foreground interest and leading lines, using reflections in the rock pools to add a little bit of additional interest into the image. And then the clouds. You can just sit and wait for the clouds to point to your focal point. And I think that I need to make sure that I'm doing that a lot more, and less of the running around like a blue-ass fly that I was doing before. You know, I've just noticed a bottle of water on a rock down there that is going to be in every single one of my images. I'll probably have to Photoshop it out. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, go and check out some of my other videos if you haven't seen them all already. And if you like my stuff, then subscribe, and you can click the bell to get notifications when I next put a video out. So from Portland Bill, good night. I never really know how to sign off a video. It's really stunning around here though. I should come to the coast more often. Obviously this crane could have been a focal point for anyone. Or these boats. The lighthouse is the obvious choice.